A drunken rich playboy hires a call girl to the hotel on a whim. He's so caught up in the moment that he doesn't notice her secretly recording the encounter. Before long, she uses the footage to blackmail him. She demands he help her marry his older brother so she can become part of their wealthy family. If he refuses, she'll leak the video online and ruin his reputation, and his family's along with it. To make matters worse, her pimp also sees an opportunity to cash in. He extorts Sedat for $100,000, threatening to make the video go viral if he doesn't pay up. Sedat regrets not keeping a tighter rein on his own urges. Too scared to tell his parents, he turns to his aunt's husband Javed, groveling like a lapdog and begging for help. But Javed wants nothing to do with him. He calls Sedat a selfish, decadent jerk, scoffs at the idea of cleaning up his mess, and furiously throws him out. Desperate, Sedat calls a family meeting, claiming the new hotel is facing a cash shortage and asking his father for money. But in reality, he plans to embezzle the funds to buy back the video. Mr. Koroglo flies into a rage. The company has been running for over 40 years and never once faced a cash crunch. Sedat brazenly argues that they have too many projects going at once, leaving funds tied up. The only solution is to bring in investment partners. But Mr. Koroglu flatly refuses, ordering his son to find another way. He's far too proud to let anyone think the family is on the verge of bankruptcy. What they don't know is that their rival is already making his move. Javed coerces the pimp into leading him to Melissa, then threatens her into handing over the video. If she doesn't comply, Javi will harm her mother, who is bedridden, and her brother, who is in prison. Javed is known for straddling both the legitimate world and the underworld. He's got connections on both sides, and he'll stop at nothing to get what he wants. Terrified, Melissa caves, admitting she's hidden the video in a cabinet at her mother's house. With her only leverage gone, Melissa realizes there's only one way left to escape poverty and marry into the wealthy family: win Muzo's heart. As soon as Javed leaves, Melissa calls Muzo, asking him to come to her apartment. Channeling her inner drama queen, she bursts into tears and throws herself into his arms, pouring out her grief. She lies, saying a rude client just demanded her services. When she refused, he was furious and even threatened her. She's so scared, begging Muzo to stay with her for the night. Yet Muzo only has eyes for Nalan. Other women don't interest him in the slightest. He tells Melissa to remember her place. Theirs is just a pretend relationship. Still, Muzo can't bring himself to be completely harsh and promises to find her a new apartment tomorrow. On the other side, Nalan asks Harry to look into who rests in that grave, its tombstone defaced. But when Harry hands her the findings, she breaks out in a cold sweat, her skin prickling with goosebumps. She goes to Mama in a rage and asks her who Seema is and who died on the day she was born. Pressed by Nalan's relentless questions, Mama has a mental breakdown, and in a trance, she sees her dead daughter again and murmurs to her, "I miss you so much, Seema." Nalan panics as Mama talks to thin air. Ignoring her granddaughter, Mama chases after the vision of her daughter and runs outside, only for Seema's figure to vanish. Mama refuses to answer Nalan's questions, and in a wild frenzy, she starts smashing vases, accidentally slashing her hand. Seeing this, Nalan stops pushing and hugs her to comfort her. Mama keeps saying, "It's all my fault," over and over again, until she collapses into a stupor from overwhelming emotion. The nanny, bound by a promise to Mama, pretends ignorance. Nalan doesn't press her. Instead, she rushes to Mama's room and rummages through drawers, searching for the box. Dad hurries to stop her, but Nalan declares she'll never rest until she uncovers the truth. She is devastated that the two people she trusts and relies on most have been lying to her all along. Knowing they can't hide anymore, Dad begs her for one more day. He'll tell her everything once Mama wakes up. Dad stays by his wife's side until she stirs at dusk. He comforts her gently, urging her to tell Nalan the truth. "We've already lost one daughter. Do we have to lose our only granddaughter too? Digging up our daughter's grave won't change anything. Nalan will find out eventually, and then she'll lose all trust in us. She might even leave us." This hits Mama's weakest spot. If it weren't for needing to care for Nalan, she would have died with her daughter long ago. She'd never have clung to life. In the dead of night, Mama goes to the magnolia tree her daughter planted and digs up the box of her belongings. Yet, to protect the family's good name, she still refuses to reveal the truth. At first light the next day, Mama calls Nalan home, handing her a key to open the box. She forges a letter, telling Nalan, "These are from your older sister, Selma. Selma had a rare disease. Only a bone marrow transplant could save her. That's why I had you, to be a match. But the day you were born, Selma couldn't fight anymore and passed away." Nalan falls for the lie, believing the reason she'd always been cold-shouldered by Mama was her failure to save her sister. If her sister hadn't needed a transplant, her mother would never have given birth to her. She was nothing but a tool to save her sister. Nalan scoffs at this, yelling at Mama for the first time in her life. "You ruined my life. You made me live with this guilt." Dad tries to hush her, but Nalan, finally unleashing her pent-up anger, turns on him. "You stood by and watched while she hurt me. What right do you have to lecture me now?" Nalan storms off in a rage. Dad, heartbroken to see them tearing each other apart, tells his wife she didn't have to be so cruel. Mama replies coldly, Selma had Nalan out of wedlock. If word got out, the gossip alone would drown her. Better she hates me than let her go looking for her real father. Later, Nalan tells her husband everything, pouring out her pain. She can't stand her parents' lies. She feels they never loved her, only saw her as a tool to save Selma. Sedat is stunned by such a dramatic turn of events. He can only comfort her, telling her not to overthink it. No parent could ever stop loving their child. But how could Nalan possibly let it go? She retreats to the living room, silently crying. Hen Muzo notices. He steps forward to check on her. She drops her tough facade, opening up. "I'm like a girl living behind a glass window, never really connecting with anyone, let alone being my true self. Even my friends were chosen by my mother, right from when I was little. Am I being stupid?" Muzo encourages her. Admitting her fears takes more courage than most people outside the glass can muster. With his reassurance, Nalan pulls herself together, refusing to drown in self-pity. Meanwhile, Javit calls Sedat, saying he's got hold of the video of his indiscretions. Unfortunately, Javit is no saint either. Knowing the Korglu family is facing a cash flow crisis, he uses the video as leverage, demanding to become a partner in their company. Sedat has no choice but to brings it up to his father. Mr. Korglu flatly opposes partnering with Javit. After all, there's bad blood between them. But opinions are divided. Seelan thinks Javit might have an ulterior motive, yet his offer is tempting enough to pull the company through the crisis. Succumbing to business interests, Mr. Korglu decides to put it to a vote. Following her husband's lead, Nalan joins Seelan in voting to accept Javit as a partner, but Muzo, Levent, and the assistant all vote against it. The final decision rests with Mrs. Korglu. Sedat whispers a plea to his mother to vote in favor. One look at his panicked face tells Mrs. Korglu he must have some hold over Javit. To protect her son, she has no choice but to agree. Javit covers his face, a victorious smile slipping through. After the meeting, Mrs. Korglu questions her son as to why he tried to force her to agree. Sedat says nothing about the video, claiming he's only making the right choice for the company. But this doesn't fool her. She raises Sedat with her own hands. She knows his true character far too well. He must be messing up badly again. She storms into Javit's office, demanding to know what leverage he has over her son. Javit denies it outright, calling it a normal business deal. Then he brings up the past, leaving Mrs. Korglu distraught and backing down. It turns out that Javit and Mrs. Korglu were once deeply in love when they were young. When they came of age, Javit joined the military for 2 years to serve his country. But when he returned with their token of love to find her, she was already married to Mr. Korglu. From that moment, Javit's heart died. To get back at her, he married her older sister, just to spite her. On the little girl's birthday, she'd overheard her mother downstairs saying she hated the arrival of this day and didn't want to celebrate her birthday. Little Nalan had been heartbroken and snapped back at her mother loudly. Mama had scolded her for being ill-mannered and too arrogant, punishing her by making her scrub the bathroom walls with a toothbrush. What's even more tragic is that over 20 years have passed, and Nalan, now taller and stronger than her mother, still dares not resist. Just because she lost her temper yesterday and spoke out against her mother, Mama insists on teaching her a lesson, making her remember to be an excellent lady. Her mother pours disinfectant on the floor and tells her to scrub it clean with a toothbrush. If there's even a crevice unscrubbed by night, she won't be allowed to sleep. Nalan numbly scrubs and wipes over and over again. Only when her hands are corroded by the disinfectant and she shows a good attitude of repentance does her mother let her off. But her mother still thinks she's not qualified to be an excellent lady because she hasn't had a child yet. If you don't have offspring, your marriage and future will be in jeopardy. Maybe you think my methods are cruel, but until you become a mother yourself, you'll never have the right to question a mother's love. What's the point of holding women to such sky-high moral standards? Land yourself with a fool for a partner, and all that virtue just make you miserable. You can tell from Nalan's husband what a lack of integrity he has and how happily he gets by. Sedat, finding Nalan too prim and proper, runs off to a hotel to fool around with Kana again. He complains to Kana that his wife doesn't understand men at all, and that only Kana's arms and body are his paradise. However, despite these complaints, he never turns down any woman who throws herself at him. That night, under Mama's influence, Nalan forces herself to take the initiative to try for a baby. Sedat immediately turns the tables, indulging in ease. Meanwhile, Harry wants to ask Mr. Koroglu's legal team to help appeal the case of Melissa's captive brother. So, he takes her to Mr. Koroglu's company. Unexpectedly, Mr. Koroglu suddenly steps out of the elevator and bumps into them. Melissa is so nervous, with nowhere to hide, that she has to turn around. Thinking this future daughter-in-law has come to see Muzo, Mr. Koroglu tells her he's in a meeting and suggests she wait in the restaurant for a while. Harry is completely confused, wondering how they know each other. And why has she changed her name? Melissa makes up a story. Muzo was born with a disability and often goes to the hospital to pick up his meds. We saw each other so much that we got comfortable around one another, striking up a connection, then falling in love. But I was scared Mr. Koroglu would look down on me for being a poor girl, so I made up a fancy, impressive background. Harry insists Mr. Koroglu is by no means the sort to fawn over the powerful and sneer at the weak. What's more, deception is the very thing he loathes most. Unaware that Melissa's relationship with Muzo is just a transaction, he even advises her to take the initiative to confess to Mr. Koroglu. After the meeting, Muzo learns that Harry knows about his romance with Melissa. He blames her for coming to the company without permission. Melissa explains, "Harry is here to help my brother appeal his case. I had no idea this was the Koroglu family's company. I had to lie to Harry just now to keep up the pretense, saying we're truly in love." These words throw Muzo into a panic. He's been trying to let this fake relationship fizzle out, but here she is, adding fuel to the fire and making everyone think they're genuinely in love. He can't stand it, saying he's ending the deal immediately and telling Melissa never to appear in front of his family again. However, Melissa has caught real feelings while pretending. She's fallen for the thoughtful Muzo, and her eyes turn red from crying. Shortly after, Nalan passes by and asks her what's wrong. Melissa tells Melissa that Muzo wants to break up with her. Nalan comforts her, telling her not to be upset. She'll talk Muzo round. Nalan assumes Muzo's fear of marriage stems from his disability. Every time she's been in trouble, Muzo has always quietly stayed by her side to comfort and help her. So she takes his hand, just as he once did for her, to give him courage. She urges him not to hurt Melissa's feelings out of fear. Such a nice girl deserves another chance. That night, Muzo goes to Melissa's house, and coincidentally, Harry is there too. Muzo apologizes to Harry, saying he didn't mean to deceive him or lash out at him earlier. In people's eyes, when a poor girl falls for a rich guy, they always say it's for money. I kept things hidden because I didn't want Melissa to be gossiped about. It's because I love her. Melissa's tearful face lights up instantly at his words. Harry says he understands and won't hold it against him, adding that he can go back to being their driver. After all, it's their personal matter. He only hopes they'll be honest with Mr. Koroglu. Muzo promises that he'll find a suitable opportunity to confess to his father. As soon as Harry leaves, Melissa can't contain her excitement, thanking him for loving her. But Muzo replies coldly, "That whole speech about loving you is just to calm Harry down. I don't love you and I'll never marry you. This relationship will be over in 2 weeks." Melissa's heart feels like it's been stabbed right through. There's no describing the pain. Unwilling to let her genuine feelings be mocked over and over, she starts to turn dark. Melissa finds Harry in tears and tells him that Muzo just lied to him. Muzo still thinks she's too poor and unworthy to be seen with. He's breaking up with her. Harry's convinced Muzo's nothing but a low-down womanizer who toys with girls' hearts. He sees Melissa like a little sister and is determined to get justice for her. Little does he know that Melissa is using him as a pawn in her scheme to marry into the Koroglu family. The next day, Harry tracks down Mr. Koroglu, ready to spill the beans about Melissa and Muzo. But the words catch in his throat. He can't bear to hurt the old man. Mr. Koroglu, now hooked by his hesitation, chases after him, only to run straight into Muzo. Muzo knows there's no dodging it now. He admits he's lied to everyone. Melissa isn't some rich German socialite, just a girl from the slums. Her father died long ago, leaving her with a paralyzed mother, a brother in jail, and nothing else. Mr. Koroglu explodes on the spot. It's not that his son picked a poor girl that enrages him, it's the lying. He wants to slap Muzo, but can't bring himself to do it. After all, Muzo's the son he trusts most. The rest of the family comes rushing over, drawn by the shouting. Mrs. Koroglu crumples when she hears the truth, devastated and bitterly disappointed in her oldest son. Seelan's heart races with guilt. If her parents find out she's not pregnant, and that she's been lying about it too, they'll never be able to take it. Muzo storms up to Harry later, accusing him of breaking his promise and outing them. Harry fires back. You're the one who went back on your word, who broke Melissa's heart. That's when it hits Muzo. Harry's just another pawn. They've all been played by Melissa. He calls her right away, making it clear he's seen through her hypocrisy and greed, and warns her never to contact him or his family again. Melissa hasn't even finished crying when Mr. Koroglu shows up at her door. He looks at her paralyzed mother, the rotting furniture, and something in him softens. His own mother was bedridden for years when he was a child. He understands Melissa well, but that doesn't excuse her lies. Mr. Koroglu tells her, poverty's no disgrace, dishonesty is. Melissa sobs out an apology, swearing she did it all because she loved Muzo. But Mr. Koroglu, who hates liars more than anything, can't forgive her. Love built on lies isn't love. Stay away from my son. Still, he promises to help Melissa sort out her brother's troubles and her mother's illness, advising her to live honestly from now on. Melissa breaks down, stunned at how badly things have unraveled. Tragedy strikes again before Mr. Koroglu can recover from his son's deceit. His daughter drops a bombshell. Levent tells him that Seelan miscarried the baby. The old man, who'd been longing for a grandchild, is heartbroken. He holds his daughter close to comfort her, unaware this is yet another lie. It turned out Seelan couldn't live with the guilt. She told her husband she'd never been pregnant, that she'd lied only because her father had been yelling at him at the time, and she'd wanted to draw fire away from him. Levent was furious and anxious, but not because she hadn't conceived. He was terrified they'd never be able to explain this to her parents. The two were discussing the fake pregnancy at the hallway entrance, stuck on how to smooth things over, completely oblivious that the maid behind the door had heard every word. The maid knew how eagerly Mrs. Koroglu was waiting for the baby to arrive. Unwilling to see her joy and hopes crushed, she told her Seelan wasn't pregnant. Mrs. Koroglu was devastated by her daughter's deceit. Aren't you ashamed of telling such a lie? She slapped her daughter hard across the face and tore into her son-in-law. Seelan knew the maid had betrayed her, but she didn't blame her. Instead, she thanked her for doing what she'd long wanted to do, but hadn't dared. It was a kind of relief for her. They knew Mr. Koroglu's fiery temper, afraid the truth would trigger a heart attack, so they teamed up to tell a kind lie. The baby had miscarried. It feels like this family is either lying or on their way to lying. No sooner do they cook up a lie to keep the family peace than another one is about to blow up. The pimp arranges to meet Nalan at the port. He claims he has a video of her husband, one that could destroy the entire Koroglu family's honor. He demands $2.5 million to hand it over. Nalan doesn't understand why he's doing this. Aren't you working for Javit? And Javit's about to become a shareholder in the Koroglu company. That doesn't add up. The pimp smirks. I work for whoever pays more. I'll give you a few days to gather the money. Contact me when you have it. Nalan is at a loss. With such a sky-high price tag, it hardly feels like a scam. She has no choice but to tell Mama about the pimp's blackmail. If the video is real and gets out, the Koroglus are finished. The stakes are too high to take chances, so neither dares risk it. Mama has no choice but to step in herself. Putting on her haughty airs, she makes a point of stating she's the former governor's wife. She confronts the pimp, demanding to know what his real intentions are and what he's after with her daughter. However, a pimp who's dealt with countless powerful figures isn't intimidated by an old woman. He couldn't care less who she is or what influence she wields. He only cares about the money. He warns Mama to make sure Nalan gets the cash ready quickly. Otherwise, Nalan will become the biggest disgrace in the world. At that, Mama suspects the video in his hands is of Sedat and Kana in bed. At that moment, Sedat is in Kana's bed, discussing the next game with her. Suddenly, Mama arrives, pounding on the door in a rage. Panic surges through Kana, but she forces a smile. She texts Sedat to hide and stay upstairs. Mama doesn't pay attention and scolds Kana for being so stupid. Someone filmed you cheating with my son-in-law. Now they're blackmailing my daughter. Kana keeps a straight face, defending herself. She's turned over a new leaf, she says, now a devoted wife and mother with no contact with Sedat. Mama has no patience for a further argument. Your mistakes shouldn't land on Nalan's shoulders, she says, pressing Kana to get the ransom ready. Kana hurries back to her room, panic edging her voice as she and Sedat hash out how to fix this. The only way to stop the pimp from spilling the secret, it seems, is to pay up and buy the video. But Mr. Korglu has long since capped Sedat's accounts. He doesn't have $2.5 million to his name. Sedat swallows his pride and begs Javit for help again. However, Javit makes it clear he'll do nothing until the partnership agreement is signed. He tells Sedat to go sort things out with his father instead. Stop wasting his time here. At dinner, Sedat presses his father to finalize the partnership with Javit. Signing soon would bring in the investment they need to fix the company's cash flow. But Mr. Korglu stays calm, telling him not to rush. With no other options left, Sedat has to turn to his sister, begging her to back him up in putting the suggestion to their father. He claims the hotel is truly in urgent need of new investment to keep afloat. Seelan has no idea this whole mess blew up because he couldn't keep that thing in his pants. She actually risks their father's wrath to speak up for him. Mr. Korglu, seeing their urgency, drops his resistance and agrees to sign the papers tomorrow. Half an hour before the contract is signed, Javit, feeling victory is in his grasp, hands the USB drive to Sedat. What they don't know is that Nalan, watching through the office glass, catches the exchange. Especially when Sedat snatches the drive, bolts into his office, and shoves it in a drawer. Nalan's gut tells her he's hiding something huge. Once Sedat leaves, curiosity gets the better of Nalan. She opens the USB drive. The scenes of intimacy playing on the computer shattered her worldview, leaving her utterly devastated. This is Maroon Recap. Check out my homepage and you'll see more recaps of Camdaki Kiz. I'm hastening to write and edit the next recap, so feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.